You might think all introverts are the same, but that's far from the truth. Some of us crave solitude, some thrive in small groups, and others, well, they hide in plain sight. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which type of introvert you are. Let's break down the 5 main types of introverts and what makes each one unique. 1. The social introvert. Social introverts enjoy people, but only in small doses. Unlike extroverts, they don't feel energized by big crowds or constant social interaction. Instead, they thrive in one-on-one conversations or intimate gatherings with close friends. Imagine being at a party. A social introvert might mingle politely, enjoy a few conversations, and then retreat to a quiet corner or leave early to recharge. It's not about disliking people. It's about managing energy. They often have a small circle of friends they trust deeply. Superficial conversations or endless small talk can feel exhausting, even stressful. A social introvert might love attending a dinner party if it's with people they really care about, but an unfamiliar group can be draining. After spending time with others, they usually need solitude to recharge, reflect on interactions, and process emotions. This recharge isn't optional, it's essential to feeling balanced. At work, social introverts often excel in roles that involve collaboration in small groups or deep one-on-one connections. They might avoid open office chaos or constant meetings because it drains their mental energy. Understanding this type helps them set boundaries without feeling guilty. For example, declining an invitation to a large social event doesn't make them antisocial, it makes them self-aware. In relationships, social introverts are loyal, thoughtful, and attentive. They may not be the life of the party, but they invest in meaningful connections. They appreciate partners who understand their need for personal space, quiet time, and low-pressure social environments. A social introvert might skip a weekend festival, but they'll remember your birthday and always show up in the ways that truly matter. Social introverts aren't avoiding people, they're protecting their energy. They shine in smaller, intentional interactions and often feel most alive in meaningful conversations rather than noisy crowds. 2. The thinking introvert. Thinking introverts are the ones whose minds never stop moving. They spend a lot of time analyzing, reflecting, and imagining. While they may appear quiet or even distant on the outside, inside they're processing a constant stream of thoughts. Every experience, conversation, or observation is an opportunity for reflection and insight. This type loves to think deeply about ideas, possibilities, and solutions. They might enjoy writing, reading, or journaling as a way to organize their thoughts. A thinking introvert could spend hours pondering a project at work, planning their next move, or reflecting on personal growth. Their inner world is rich and complex, often full of creativity that isn't immediately visible to others. Because they are so thoughtful, thinking introverts often notice patterns and details that others miss. They can anticipate problems before they arise and offer well-considered advice. However, they may also overthink simple situations, replaying interactions in their minds and worrying about what could have gone differently. This can make them appear hesitant or indecisive, even though they're deeply engaged internally. At work, thinking introverts thrive in roles that require planning, strategy, or creativity. They often prefer working independently or in environments where they have space to think before responding. Their strength lies in their ability to understand complex problems and generate thoughtful solutions. But they must guard against analysis paralysis, where overthinking prevents action. In relationships, thinking introverts are reflective partners. They consider feelings, anticipate needs, and value meaningful communication. They may struggle with impulsive decisions or spontaneous adventures, but they offer loyalty, insight, and emotional depth. With the right understanding, thinking introverts can create profoundly connected, lasting relationships. Thinking introverts are thinkers, planners, and deep feelers. Their quiet exterior hides a mind constantly exploring the world, making sense of it, and preparing for what's next. 3. The anxious introvert. Anxious introverts experience the world through a lens of caution and careful observation. They often worry about how others perceive them, overthink interactions, and feel overwhelmed in social situations. Unlike social or thinking introverts, their energy isn't just drained by crowds or deep thought, it's actively taxed by stress and anxiety. Picture a team meeting or a casual gathering. An anxious introvert might spend the entire time rehearsing what to say, analyzing every word, or imagining how others might judge them. Their internal dialogue is constant, and it can feel exhausting. This isn't shyness in the traditional sense. It's a heightened awareness of social dynamics and potential consequences. This type often develops coping strategies to manage anxiety, like preparing conversations in advance, avoiding large social events, or retreating early from situations that feel overwhelming. They may come across as reserved or cautious, but that's a protective mechanism, not a lack of social interest. At work, anxious introverts excel in structured, predictable environments. They perform best when they understand expectations clearly and can plan ahead. Spontaneous or chaotic situations can trigger stress, making it harder for them to function optimally. Recognizing this type helps managers and coworkers provide the right support, reducing unnecessary pressure and misunderstandings. In personal relationships, anxious introverts may struggle with insecurities, worrying about being misunderstood or rejected. They often appreciate partners who are patient, reassuring, and understanding of their need for calm, predictable environments. With support, anxious introverts can thrive, using their sensitivity and attention to detail as strengths rather than seeing them as weaknesses. Anxious introverts aren't antisocial, they're cautious and highly sensitive. Their world is filtered through worry and careful observation, but with the right strategies and support, they can navigate life confidently. 4. The restrained introvert. Restrained introverts are careful and deliberate in everything they do. They think before they act, analyze situations thoroughly, and rarely make impulsive decisions. This type values stability and predictability, and they often approach life with caution. Their introversion isn't about avoiding people, it's about moving through the world with intention and care. Imagine a restrained introvert entering a new social setting. They observe quietly, sizing up the dynamics and understanding the environment before participating. They may appear reserved or even shy at first, but this is a conscious choice. They want to ensure they respond appropriately rather than react impulsively. This measured approach often makes them reliable, thoughtful, and highly trustworthy in the eyes of others. At work, restrained introverts excel in planning, research, and roles that require attention to detail. They may hesitate to volunteer for spontaneous tasks, not because they lack ambition, but because they prefer understanding the full picture before committing. Their careful approach often leads to fewer mistakes and well-thought-out results. In relationships, restrained introverts are cautious yet deeply loyal. They take their time to get close to someone, ensuring trust and compatibility before fully opening up. Once they commit, they are dependable, supportive, and considerate. Partners who understand their need for careful pacing often find that restrained introverts form some of the most stable and lasting bonds. Restrained introverts aren't slow or hesitant. They're intentional and precise. Their measured approach helps them navigate life thoughtfully, making decisions that are grounded in awareness and reflection. 5. The solitary introvert. The solitary introvert is the classic image of introversion, someone who thrives in complete solitude. This type is energized by being alone and may actively seek out solitude, not as a form of avoidance, but as a source of restoration and inspiration. Unlike other introvert types, solitary introverts find peace and fulfillment primarily within themselves rather than in social interactions. Imagine spending a quiet weekend at home, reading, writing, or exploring a personal hobby without interruptions. A solitary introvert feels at their best in these moments. They don't need large social circles or constant interaction to feel validated. They're self-sufficient, reflective, and deeply in tune with their inner world. At work, solitary introverts thrive in independent roles or creative pursuits. They often produce their best work when given space to think, plan, and execute on their own. Collaborative environments or constant meetings can feel draining, not because they dislike people, but because they prefer to channel their energy into personal focus and meaningful projects. In relationships, solitary introverts value partners who respect their need for alone time. They may not be outwardly expressive or social, but their bonds are intense, thoughtful, and genuine. When their need for solitude is honored, they bring immense depth, creativity, and loyalty to the relationship. Solitary introverts aren't lonely. They're independent, self-reflective, and energized by time alone. Their inner world is rich and fulfilling, making solitude not a limitation, but a source of strength. So, which type of introvert are you? Are you the social one who enjoys meaningful conversations in small doses? The thinking introvert, lost in a world of ideas? The anxious type who navigates life carefully? The restrained introvert, moving through the world with intention? Or the solitary introvert, thriving in peaceful solitude? Maybe you see pieces of yourself in more than one type, or perhaps you're discovering aspects of yourself you never realized before. Understanding your type isn't just about labeling yourself. It's about unlocking insights into how you recharge, how you connect with others, and how you navigate the world. Imagine how different your interactions could be if you embraced your type fully, instead of trying to fit into someone else's mold. What choices would you make differently? How would your daily life change if you honored the way your energy works naturally? And here's the twist. Many introverts don't stay the same type forever. Life experiences, growth, and changing circumstances can shift the way you interact with the world. So the question isn't just, which type are you? But which type are you becoming? And what might happen if you fully embraced that version of yourself tomorrow? Some people never explore the side of themselves, but for those who do, it can change everything, from friendships and work to the way they see their own potential. So take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how well do you really know the introvert inside you?